Okay, big smash in gold, silver, and the miners. To be honest, everything was smashed yesterday. It was back to the old behavior. Dollar up, yields up, market down. Even crypto is down. By the way, Bitcoin is closing below 60,000, I think, and that looks like it wants to move lower to 52,000. So maybe crypto's top is in for now, confirmed. And then tech stocks, which have also been quite weak. Obviously, you've had some days where some go up, some go down because of earnings or whatever, but generally speaking, it's been a bit weak. Um, so Nasdaq, Bitcoin down, markets down, yields dollar up, miners, gold and silver down, back to the old tricks, which is good to see because for me, like I've been nibbling out of my miners, right? Watching it go higher and higher, but I know that even though I think this is the big one, it's just I don't know if it's a wisdom or it's just old habits. But I nibble out at little resistance levels, and now it's looking more and more attractive because that cash on the sidelines, that cash pile has been growing as I've been nibbling out. Because I nibble like one, two, $300, which is like nothing. It's like 5% max of any of the miners that I own, and I own like 20. So imagine that. All that cash pile just adding up, plus the interest that I hold in the dollars. um, in my broker earning 5%, that's just growing also automatically the cash pile. Plus I'm injecting some from the salary from my job. And yeah, it's just been growing plus dividends from the miners I hold, just those four streams of revenue adding to my cash sidelines. It's looking very, very nice because I want to deploy some when I think the bottom is in the miners on this little local retracement. So let's take a look at the dollar. By the way, look at the news today. This is why I have this screenshot. So I don't know if the move lower yesterday was anticipation of this news or it was just technicals. It doesn't really matter. It kind of made sense also that a bit of a drop was needed in every market. But look, ADP, that's big. ISM, that's big. JOLTS, that's sometimes quite big, but it's considered mediocre. And FOMC, which to be honest is considered huge, but sometimes it's a non-event because the market knows what the FOMC, what the Fed's gonna say, and it's usually the conference. I think it's gonna be quite big. So huge day today. That will change the charts a little bit, but at the moment it looks very, very obvious what wants to happen. DXY broke out of the descending. Here, let's do little drawings. Broke out this long-term descending, went up to the next horizontal. I love this. Retrace, hit the descent again, broke out to the next level. It didn't really get to 107, but whatever. It doesn't need to do it in one go. Small consolidation, and now wants to go up. Now, FOMC day, so let's see what happens. It could be a surprise drop, and if it is, then down we go here, bounce and whatever. That's a bad drawing. But otherwise, if we go up, it's going to hit 107.2. That's going to happen. It'll stay there for a while. I don't know, a little bit. And then up we go, to 108. And if you go to 108, that's DXY saying we want to go higher, 110 higher. That'll be interesting. I would like to see how gold, silver, and everything else reacts to that. But at the moment, it looks like it's 107. And if the Fed obliges, then up we go. And then we've broken out of the zone that's been holding for a while, right? That's like, I don't want to say that's gold 2100 zone, but that's a long term, medium term resistance. So up we go back to the highs, maybe in DXY. Interesting. I wouldn't mind that, by the way, if gold stabilizes and doesn't go down too much whilst that happens. But just watch out. Today's hugely important for everything, I would say. Also, because of the DXY chart. Let's look at yields real quick. Also, right, dollar and yields are pretty much in line at the moment. So yields are going up. What do they want to do? Starting with the 38, that wants to go back up. They want to go back to their old highs. I've said it for a while. They want to go back to their old highs. Let's call it here. And then it can double top and we'll see what happens. And the Fed wants to relinquish and start cutting rates. We'll see. The system wants to break at these levels. But at the moment, it's going higher, and gold, and I really like this, as the dollar and yields have been going up, gold and the miners have been breaking out. So I don't mind them going up. I just feel now we're reaching a level where the market's just breaking, and maybe gold and silver, okay, perfect excuse to have a bit of a retracement because it's a bit too much at the moment. But I think it's a good, healthy opportunity to add. 10-year also wants to go back to its old highs, 5%. That's where the system breaks, 5%. I mean, it's not going to do it today, but I feel like if the Fed encourages this move today, with by the end of the day, if the move is up, if the close is up, then we'll go up the next day, and 5% will be there quite quickly. 5-year yield, you can see that coming. 2-year, the most important one, the one the Fed has to follow, that's even more bullish. Look at that close, best close yesterday. That suggests going up. If there was no Fed date today, if there was no news today, this would continue and start to break the system. And by the way, Japanese system is breaking too. Yields up. Let's look at gold and silver. Okay, gold, big drop yesterday. Look at the close, horrible. Close at low day, close below this low that we had a few days ago, right? This beautiful hammer candle that looked like it was a reversal. No, it's not. Where do we go next, right? The big question, where do we go next? I don't know. Depends on the dollar yield and the markets, maybe the markets. This is a big move. For me, the next clear support is going to be down here, 22.22. I remember this little high here. That's an almost 3% move, 2.5% move from where we are now. That's a pretty big move. But yesterday we did like almost 2%. So that can be done. I'm just wondering whether this here, see these two little lows, Saturn area, maybe. I'm going to leave it there, but it's a small one. Should maybe leave it. Maybe. The reason I say maybe is because silver has already neared its 26 level. And maybe silver doesn't go down too much. I have a feeling that 26 will act as support, as it should, because it was very, very strong resistance. And it should act as support. So I think silver will outperform gold if there's a further drop. Yes, you're allowed to go to 25.50 or whatever. It's about to close. I think we'll close around 26, hopefully above 26. And because that's a small move from where we are now, 1%, I don't feel like gold, if silver's holding 26, gold is not allowed to go down all the way there. It could probably go somewhere like here, also 1%. So that's why I'm going to keep this one here, just in case it's the silver 26 level. Otherwise, who knows, maybe there's just a rebalance. Silver holds 26, gold goes all the way down to 22, 20. Or maybe there's another support that I can't get right at the moment, and that's absolutely fine. So for me, those levels I'm watching, these horizontals, I don't think there's anything else that I'm missing. There's no ascending. We've lost that a while ago. I did add this one a few days ago. We're far from that, so I don't see any other level. I'm not going to be doing Fibonacci here, from the breakout to the high. I guess I could, but I want to keep it simple. Even this one is, I just want to keep the chart simple. Let's see where we stabilize. By the way, I absolutely don't mind gold and silver going all the way down because I'm mainly focused on the miners. I do have quite a bit of gold now. I've been adding to gold as a hedge during this big move up, so that if there's a big drop, okay, I'll lose a little bit in gold. Like let's say gold comes down all the way down to here. Let's just say 8%. Oh my God, that's horrible. But the miners will be down like 20. So I prefer to then sell my gold and throw all that money into miners. So it's a hedge play that. But for me, best scenario is dollar screaming up, yields screaming up, markets screaming down, gold and silver screaming down, miners going up. It's about the miners for me. So gold and silver can kind of do what they want. Let's see where they stabilize. Let's look at the miners. Right. First of all, the miners are not lower than they were a few days ago. The miners are outperforming, in my opinion, the metals. Now, yesterday was about 5%. That's kind of in line with a gold drop of 1 to 2%. So yesterday was an average bad day, no outperformance. But look where we were the day before, right? We were all the way up here looking for a move higher. But gold and silver come down. So I think we're going to start going back to the average performance and no more outperformance, at least on the way down. Because well, anyway, we do have support here, right? So if silver goes to 26, that would justify GDXJ, and I will take a look at the other one, SILJ, for example, which is outperforming GDX and GDXJ. Quite interesting. 2.5%, that would make sense, right? Silver at 26. GDX. Yeah, that didn't happen, did it? That'll come. GDX obviously closed at low of day, just like gold. So we got a little 2.5% drop in the miners. If silver goes down to test 26 and probably just below 26. And gold by then, maybe it's here. I don't know, maybe it's flushing lower. But I do think, let's just stick to the miners now, no more about gold and silver. I do think this should be support. It was pretty clear resistance on all of them. So they'll all have their own little support taking place once they're all around there. You can't just go through this like there's nothing happening unless it's coinciding with some foolish statement with Powell at the time. I don't know. I can't see that happening. And it can venture a little below, but let's see where it closes, right? So that's clear support. Honestly, I don't have support after that. I mean, there is, what have I got here for SILJ, for example? I've got support here, yes, but I don't see that coming into consideration. That's a 10% drop. Is there a little gap to fill here? Maybe you can touch that, maybe, and go back up and close around 1060. That would be acceptable. Is there a gap on any of the other ones? No, there isn't. Look, like I said, you can venture a little lower, but it's about the close, and I would like to see a close on this level. But even that is somewhat irrelevant because in the end, well, some of you are probably in the ETS, but I'm in the miners. I don't really want to go through the miners too much. Look, a little gap here. They can all do their own thing, right? Newmont, big move up, great news. This is a fantastic buy the dip candidate. Like I'm going to be adding to Newmont. This will be one of the ones I want to buy because look at this huge move up, justified on good news. You don't like you'll find some crappy stocks, crappy miners that are down even more, but they're not going to bounce when the bounce is due. But Newmont will because it's destroyed, obliterated senior, biggest one, and it's just had fantastic earnings. That's the one you want to buy. So this one I'll buy. This one will probably come down here. This chart is different to the GDX, GXJ. So, imagine the miners are stabilizing, gold, silver stabilizing. We are in a new bull market, by the way. It is different this time. So this is the one I'll buy. This is one of the ones I'll buy. Newmont. I'll probably make it top dog again because it's like fourth or fifth at the moment. So that gap fill, who knows? It could go all the way down to here. I don't know, support, you could say it's hard to call support after the gap close. I don't think we'll go down that much, but this will be bought after the gap close. That's where you buy this one. Horrible circle there. All right. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just going through all my portfolio. Yeah, here's support. Barrett Goldish here. That should hold, not being the strongest, so it could actually get weaker. That'd be really disappointing if you go down here after this huge move up. But again, I think they took a bit of a hit because of Mali. So not the best one to buy for a bounce. But let's see where it stabilizes. This one I'll probably hold and do nothing. Like Nico is definitely a buy the dip candidate. It's just probably the best mine overall. Look at that, move down to there or here. Definitely this one I'll buy, even though I'm already very heavy in this one. Those are the two levels I'm looking at. Close at low of day, beautiful. Touch this one perfectly. Probably buy there and buy there. And buy there, I don't care. This is a monster. But it's not going there, at least not today or not this week. So those two levels I'll be looking at. Pan American Silver, very strong. Look at that, close at low day, horrible candle. Support here. Where would it go? Here, probably go here for $26, even though $26 is quite close. How much of a move is this? 1.5%. It could hold here. Probably nibble very, very lightly. What you sell here, you buy here, and then here you buy whatever you have sold. It doesn't matter if you've sold, you just buy here. This is a huge support 17. So those two levels I'm watching. SSRM, which by the way was doing quite well the whole day. It was holding up really well whilst everything else was red. And then it just had to go and everything accelerated lower. This thing looks good at 5, but I don't want to buy it because I've got a lot in it. I think it's still my number one holding. Actually, I was looking for a run. It was so set to continue, but it is what it is. The whole sector goes down. I'm not going to buy just because of how much I've got in there, but I think $5 should hold. After $5, it gets a bit harder to call. But I don't even think we get to 5. I think this one's very, very strong and it could rebound quickly and in 2 days be at new highs, believe it or not. So this is a special one. It's operating independently, even though it didn't yesterday. It's operating independently. Wheaton always doing well. I mean, look at that, down 2.5% on a day like yesterday is very good. Look where we were the day before. We were testing the highs of the whole breakout period. So I'm not going to buy this. It's strong. I have enough in it. Yeah, it's my strongest royalty, my heaviest holding. Otherwise, I guess, yeah, these two levels, especially this one here, this one will hold. I would say I can also see a bit of an ascending line, possibly. Yeah, it's holding that. That'll be lost today if there's any continuation. So I won't even draw this one, but that one looks good. Franco Nevada. I guess I'm just going through my portfolio if you guys don't mind. Look at that. Yesterday it was looking for breakout, but today it was forced lower. This one's a monster. I mean, this one is probably a buy. Let's do 2 lines. I'm gonna do a very rough one here, just in case it's a short retracement, or like we're moving lower pre-FOMC because of news, and then all of a sudden FOMC is bullish for miners, probably the markets, but then it'll be the first line. And this applies to every miner I've just gone through, that's what the first line is for. Otherwise, the second line is there. This one looks like it wants to continue going back up. The Metallic doing horribly, by the way. Like I said in my portfolio update over the weekend, 1 or 2 down days, and you're talking about moves lower than the whole move we've seen. I mean, this today alone, it could close below 289 and just. I'm not going to add to Metallic because it's just such a weak stock, and I don't have too much in it, but it's like my weakest holding in terms of royalties, but it doesn't deserve being added to. Let's look at the Silver Boys. First Majestic did okay yesterday, actually, all things considered. It looks like the ascending is holding. This ascending line seems to be working. A big drop down. You got first line here. That's the low we made back then when it bounced quite well. Remember, it's had bad news, so it's bounced quite well. But yeah, if we keep going lower, then look for 620 to hold. After that, it's about 580, and you don't want to go lower than that. And if you do, actually, I'll be buying this. I don't care about what news it was. So yeah, those horizontal lines is what you should be watching now, because if we do move lower, the ascending could act as an intraday support. But FOMC, when there's a big move, you'll probably lose that if it starts moving down. Let's look at Fortuna. That's doing very well. It's one of the strongest silver mines, holding up very well. Imagine FOMC is bullish. After all is said and done, all the news is digested. At the close, gold and silver are up like 1.5%. Fortuna is going to be all the way up here. Best close ever. Next week we go higher, or maybe even Wednesday. You could even have a close above 5 this week, right? That's you got to consider also the bullish move. If we move lower, then I'm going to do this one as support because it might be a big move down. So 430. And after that, yes, this horizontal. I'm not going to go lower than this. I don't see it happening. Coeur d'Arlène, that one got smashed yesterday. Look how good it was looking the day before, though. Just another. Anyway, it's a shame. It's good to know. It's good to know that these stocks are very strong, looking for an excuse to continue. But anyway, this is why we nibble out. This is why we have sidelines that grow to add back to good stocks. Clearly, for me, the support is this 4 just above 4. Then you have gap fill. Then I'm not going to talk about anything below that. I don't see that happening this week. EXK. Yes. You see, this one's actually gone up so much, and it's been such a weak and bad stock for so long that now, if we're going to go lower, it could go quite a bit lower. Look at, it's a shame. Yeah, this one I can see actually going all the way back down to this low here today, 240. After that, 230. I don't see anything happening today at least, but who knows? You could go back to 2 if there's any continuation. I'll have to delete all these lines at some point to make it pretty again. Okay, after that, let's look at MAG, and it's a shame. MAG, it was horrible for so long, and actually very recently, look at this, it was outperforming the other miners. And yesterday, it was already all the way up here. It's a shame. Down we go. Yeah, support is here, 1150. After that, you're retesting the descending breakout. I don't see it's going all the way down here again. I don't, especially because of the recent strength. So I see really 1150 as support. I want to move it up because it's relatively outperforming recently. I am gold. That one also, look where we were yesterday, highest close ever since the move up. Today, big drop, 6%. What a shame. I'm going to add, that's a serious shame actually, this little zone of support to make it clear. Let's call it 345. It's probably 350. We're so close that I'm going to keep it as 345. And after that, yeah, you've got this little 330. What a shame. What a shame. But it is what it is, you know. And in 6 months from now, it doesn't matter this little drop here because you're going to be all the way up there. And it's just going to still be one of the outperforming miners because it has been for some time. So it's still a value, you know, what it did yesterday is still a value despite the weakness today. Sorry, where it was on Monday is still a value because of, you know, 3, 4 days from now, if everything turns, or even if it doesn't, in 6 months from now, it'll still be an outperforming one. So this one candle alone is still useful to add, you know, in case you want to add. And I'm considering adding time gold, even though I'll be adding higher than where I started my position at $3 on average. SPSW, I'm pretty much finishing. Yeah, platinum and palladium got smashed. SPSW high risk. Look at that. That's the support from before close. Yeah, any continuation low, we're gonna go see $4 on SPSW. It's a shame, but that's the type of stock it is. You know, if everything looks good, it screams up. If it looks bad, it screams down. Very sensitive to platinum palladium also. So, but everything got smashed yesterday, so that kind of makes sense. All right, I wasn't planning to go through all my portfolio, but I just did. I think I may have missed 1 or 2 stocks, but I don't care because I wasn't even supposed to go through them. Let's see what happens today. All the charts will look different anyway. So, but I think I kind of went through the support, at least the resistance. I don't think will have changed because we haven't challenged any resistance yet. So I think I still have those, but I don't mind if we have to look at resistance later because that means it was a very good day. So good luck to all of us. Let's see what happens. Lots of news, lots of things to look out for, and also pay attention to Bitcoin. You know, a lot of money went into Bitcoin away from the miners. So a flush of Bitcoin is probably coinciding with a flush in miners, but maybe not. And maybe you have some Bitcoin money going to gold. That could be something to consider. But anyway, good luck.